commonly call the notice funding. Hopefully, somewhat hard to understand, and it's been wonderful to be able to do that in the range countries. Most of our grantees are from the range countries, as you know, and NTNP is one of our biggest grantees in Nepal. So please feel free to ask questions while I talk about this program. Even though grants are not very large, we're very happy that it's accessible to people range-wide. They are to what we call a small grants program, 50,000 to maybe 60, 75. And if it gets higher, then we get further scrutinized, so we like to keep it down and get more grants rather than larger and few grants. This veterinary work started off with the Asian Elephant Conservation Fund, and now we've been able to support it with the Rhino Tiger Conservation. So do you have any questions? None. So what is important, at least what we find, is because there are so few apex predators in a lot of our work reports, like the boots on the ground, while it's nice to be able to do surveillance type of work with respect to health, oftentimes it becomes very important to just make sure that the animals don't disappear and support law enforcement and prevent conflict. So, if you've got some exciting studies that you want to conduct, it may be challenging to get support from us. I'm not very to you, but I want to let you know that a lot of grants are primarily to make sure that the animals don't disappear because of conflict or because of loss of habitat or what have you. We're also aware of the fact that a lot of the domestic animals now interact with wild animals, and so there's a lot of potential disease transmission from that side. So we hope that the experts in the room can pay attention to how to address that topic. And I'm hoping that you have a great meeting. So please feel free to ask questions. I wish I had a presentation to give you, but I didn't prepare one.
So, any questions for her? You can hear me, yeah?
Absolutely, I can hear you. Yes, indeed.
Anyway.
I can also see you.
Ah, that's good.
If there is no questions, then I want to talk to Mina. Hi Mina, this is Sirani.
I can see that, Shira. Yes.
And thank you so much for coming with us. Anyway, it's from the distance in Skype. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank you, because without your support, US Fish and Wildlife Service, impossible to gather all the veterans, veterinarians here globally. So we really miss you, and we would like to thank you very much, our team from Nepal, and of course from all our participants from this Saura. Thank you so much. If anybody want to maybe. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. I also want to add that from the previous meetings, I remember that, a lot of networking, and I hope that this networking continues with more people added to the group. And if there's any question at all amongst you where you want to reach out to somebody in the group, don't hesitate to contact me as well, and I'll be happy to make that connection for you as well.
Okay, thank you, Meenakshi. So we will.
You're welcome.
We will move on to the next Skype if possible. Otherwise, we will continue for other sessions.
Yeah, David Gassett for you. David Gassett is waiting for you.
Okay. Then thank you very much, and see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
So he's not online. He's not online. No. Pen drive, maybe first one can connect and others can give pen drive to me, and then I can upload in my PC, and then later on we don't need to be worried. So I will hand over this microphone to Dr. Gaire.
Good morning, everybody. So the morning session starts now, and it is on the as the first paper of this morning, I would like to call. So budget is paper on the situation of oil and capital development in Myanmar.
He's going to bring the pen drive. Sorry for the inconvenience. So you can use.
So they are looking for presentation. Thank you.
No, they will arrive here shortly.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sorry, during this Skype meeting, we just switched the laptop.
So,
And then
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Somyung from Myanmar, and I would like to give presentation about just briefing our elephant. We are working with, especially I am working with the captive elephant. Sometimes I need to do the wild elephants, just a human elephant conflict, and also the transportation, and also the treating the wild elephant. And sometimes I have to do the post-mortem wild elephant. So anyway, I would like to give about what we are doing in our countries about the elephant. There is not wild elephants, wildlife disease, or there is no wildlife conservation. Just I only brief about what we are doing in our countries in Myanmar. So before I would like to talk about the elephant population, especially the wild elephant population. I think so before, and many years, 70, according to our literature, I think so 1941, we have the 10,000 wild elephant all over the country. Now we still have only 1,500 between the 2000s. So this number is coming from our team. Our team is we call it EIU. EIU is the Emergency Elephant Run 8 units all over the country, especially in the highly occurring like the human and elephant conflict, and also the poaching area. We have these units. Now we have a question and also to do the villager, and also by the observation and our team. So this data is coming from our team. What is the challenges in our country? I think every country has a settlement of the people, and then the human elephant conflicts, and also deforestation due to the dam projects, and also the road construction. Because I think the last 2 years, 3 years ago, our country built a bit road, the highway roads. The national forest. So the forest is, the fragments and elephants is isolated here. And that's another problem. We are doing with the government budgets. That the budget is very limited for doing the conservation work, and so we need some budget for our team to protect our wild elephants. So this picture is sorry.
Yeah. Pointer? Backside. पछाडि
This point.
पछाडि छ के
Point. Yes.
backside this one.
This one.
Yeah.
This one. Point.
Yeah.
So this picture is our EIU team. They are doing the patrolling around the national forest. In our countries, we have 48 protected area. 48 protected area, but I think three is only for the white elephant, like the for the white elephant, but never happened the elephant conflict, human conflict, and also the poaching inside the national park and also the protected area. Always happening the outside in the national forest. So our team is always patrolling along the border of the national forest and inside the national forest. So this picture is the people. The people is living in the national forest, and they are making the charcoal and selling for their livelihoods. And sometimes the wild elephant is destroying their house, and so that is very poor guys, very poor families. So I met these families when we are doing the coloring projects. That area, they don't have any so much food like the basically we use rice. So they hiding the rice during the night near over there. So the elephants get to smell the rice and also the salt and other materials. So the elephant is coming going up into the head and also the tail and destroying everything. So at the morning they don't have any food for their family. So very poor. So there is another program to do the elephant-human conflict mitigation. So we do the awareness and education program for local villager, and we talk about the elephant, how to avoid the killing the people by the elephant and something like this. And also we do the we do the last 3 years to now we did the collar. We put the collar to the elephants, and within 3 years we put the collar about I think 20 elephants. Now we can see only the 12 elephants. So other elephants are already dying due to the poaching and something like that. So sometimes we have to discuss with the owner of the plantation owners to do the human to mitigate the human and elephant conflict. So we also doing use the conky elephant for sometimes we have to chase back the wild elephant from the public area. So everybody can see that this picture the white elephant is going to the city area, even the very famous place in the central part of the Myanmar is everybody knows the Bagan area is a very Asian place, so many pagodas. So there is no forest for the elephant, but wild elephant is going up here and there, and finally they reach to the tourism area. So we have to chase back this elephant to the forest area, and then sometimes we have to do like we catch the elephant and we have to do the translocation 200 and 300 miles away from that area to another area. Anyway, this elephant is a very clever elephant. Every year, this elephant is going to the city, and we catch this elephant. I think 3 times. We move with conflict management. So this one is every year going down to the public area near the city. This year, this picture is the last man. We put the collar this elephant, and we catch this elephant again and move transport to the center of the wildlife sanctuary. And the next few days, I think it's 40 miles, and go back again. So we cannot do so. Somebody, I show you the picture. This one. So they put here. So elephant is going inside and destroying everything. So that is a poor family. So another problem is this year we found our team is always, I told you the EIU team is always doing regular patrolling this year. So this year we found 3 elephant with the before the elephant died. This is a white elephant. This is our Kunti elephant. this is our assistant vet. So we saw that this elephant before dying put the arrow. So the poacher shoot with the arrow. This is an iron head arrow. So they put the poison inside the arrow and they shoot. I think the elephant is not dying very quickly. I think 2 days, 3 days later, the elephant is very weak and cannot walk. And finally, our team is found this elephant, and we take out the arrow and we treat this elephant. We do this year the 3 elephants to save, but luckily we cannot save this elephant because every elephant, because after the taking out the arrow and we wash every the poison inside the wound, and we put a lot of antibiotic and we give an injection. We're looking for the white elephant, and with the gongi elephant we gave an injection again, and luckily about a week, sun elephant a week, and sun elephant is 10 days and something like there's all elephant dying, so we cannot do. So that's also the poaching case. So here, according to our record, 13 elephant already poached by them. Another problems. This is an orphanage from the wild. So you see that this one. So we found like this year there were 2 wild elephants and two different places. This one is in the delta area. So the elephant, the baby is going down near the village and looking for the water. Accidentally drop into the hole. Our team want to save this elephant, but during the night we cannot approach that area. We are looking for that elephant, but the head of the elephant is coming and saved by themselves and they take away. So this elephant already follow with his head. So other baby elephant. You see that this baby elephant has a lot of wound all over on the body. And when we found this elephant, so we have now 7 orphanage elephants. 2, the bigger one, and the other one is 2 from our captive elephant. Normally we don't move the captive orphanage elephants to the orphanages. So we always trying to find out the foster mother. Normally the captive elephant. We try to find out the foster mother and follow to take care of the orphanage elephant. So this elephant are from all are from the delta area, the same area. There's the orphanage, the 5 orphanage from the wild. So we have to transport this elephant from about the 150 miles so far away from. This year we found 6 orphanage elephants. We can save only the 5 orphanage elephants and the last 2 months. We got the last one. And luckily, this elephant is dying because the baby is very, very weak, and also there are a lot of wound all over the body. And we want the baby rise at our camp. We treat 2 days, and finally the elephant and the baby is dying in our camps. So luckily, now this orphanage are very well and very healthy. And very, I think, very happy in our camps. So that is the captive elephant session. So in our countries we have I think 5,000 captive elephants, and 3,000 over the 3,000 is a state-owned elephant, a government-owned elephant. Our department-owned elephant. Our department is a state-owned department. So another 2,500 500 is you know, the private-owned elephants. So So this data, this is I would like to show that this is the number of the elephant is distributed all over the country. So this is we have 3,000 elephants owned by the government, but 40% is can work in the locking. Others 60%. 60% is like the mother and also the pregnant, training, disabled, and old elephant. So anyway, we have to take care of the elephants. So we have a mahout, we have a uzi. Every elephant is that the baby elephant. So elephant and mahout is like the big family. So we have guidelines for the elephant management. We have the instruction how to use how many 10 looking for every year. So we have the guideline for the staff, and we have the instruction. We have the instruction for elephant using. So another thing is now there is a new chapter for our countries. You know, we have a lot of captive elephants. Now the government reduce the locking very few amounts, very small amounts start again in this year. So we have the 40% working elephants, but most of the private-owned elephants are jobless. So they have a problem for long-term survival in our country. So we stopped the elephant conservation-based tourism in 2016 in December. So we do this project for the alternative job for elephant and also the mahout, and also the awareness program, management program for the local people and also the publics. So only up to this now we have only the 18 tourism camp all over the country, and the 3 private camp. In all the tourism activities, only the 250 elephants are working. Only the 8% can get a job in that kind of work. So another health management, we have the preventive program like the vaccination, and also the deworming. We use the vaccination for the prevention of the infectious disease. So another program is we are running now the mobile clinics, the programs to do the government elephants. Now we have 3 mobile units, and 2 for the government elephant and 1 for this one is the new ones, and that's provided by the SPANA and the UK for the private elephant. You know, the very difficult to organize the private elephant in our countries. Most of the private owner, they want to treat by themselves, but they are not. They don't know exactly how to treat and how to give a medicine or something like this. But they try to do by themselves because the treating is very expensive for the private owner. So now we do the free veterinary care, free provides everything for the private elephants. I think so before we start with this program, very difficult to organize the owner. They don't want to show their elephant because in our countries they have many problems like some private owners, they don't have the right their registration or ownership or something like that. So they are worried about the government official, because we are the government official. They don't want to show their elephants without the license or something like that. So now we explain everything. We don't care the license. We don't care. We also care the health care for the elephants. Now we can communicate about the 100 private owner, and then we can treat within 5 months about the 500 elephant all over the country. So we found what the common problems, the common case we found in our countries like the injuries, because we use the elephant in the locking. Sometimes accidentally happen the injury or something, and the sometimes the wound can get by the mahouts. You know, when we use the elephant for the lockings to set it, the harness to the body, on the body, and also the mahout is not skillful and fixed. Sometimes it can get the wound. Sometimes this picture is fighting the wounds to the femur and also the broken legs and other parasitic problems. So this picture, these two pictures. So last year, the beginning of the 2007, we lost 6 elephants within the 2 months in the same camp. So we cannot detect very fast. And so we have to take the sample, and we have to send the university, and we have to send the lab to the livestock departments, and we have to wait result about the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then the next elephant died, and the next elephant died. When we got the result from the lab, and 6 elephants already died, and something like that. So we have a problem like this. We don't have enough facility in our departments. So the EHP guidelines, so we are trying to involve and to participate in the EHP working group in Asia. So anyway, I got the process from the EHP working groups. I carry the 100 of the brochures to our country, and I give everybody every elephant for a bed. So we have a 51 elephant vet. Not everybody is not vet surgeon. Some is a assistant vet. So somebody cannot read English very well. So they need to translate this brochure to our language. So I'm trying to translate it. No, I already finished the translation to this guidelines and to print out and to give everybody. That is EHP for prevention for our effort in our country. So the cost of this, this is the cost of this within the 5 fiscal year. You see the EHP is a little bit high here and a little bit down. So the other costs mean other animal disease and also the others infectious disease. And so the parasitic disease is very, very low because we have a regular routine deworming system. So our own elephant is dead and best raised every year, so everybody can see the death number is high every year. So the captive elephant population is increased year by year. Thank you very much.
So you said this elephant that you translocated or relocated back, how far was the distance from the area where you captured the elephant back to the nature reserve where you brought the elephant back to?
Yes, I have done three times, I think 4 times translocation. The first one is so far, I think from the south to the middle part of our country. It is about 500 miles away from that area. But that is not good because that elephant habitat is the wetlands, that area. So we have to catch this elephant and load it on the boat, and also load it again on the truck, and we have to drive away and something like that. So at the time, that is our first time. That is my fault. This elephant is dying after doing the translocation, that new area, because the original habitat is the wetlands. Yeah. So the food pattern of this elephant is very soft and very fragile. So the other place, the new place is the rocky area. So the elephant cannot walk very good. So the elephant cannot move their way, and roaming that area, even the protected area or additional parts, so many settlements inside. So this elephant is going to the near this people area. They shoot with the arrow and they got injury and also so elephant died. This is I think 500 miles away.
Yeah.
The second one is about 130 miles. Not the forest connected. So once we release this elephant and go back next to the ordinary area.
Thank you.
Dr. So actually, it's wonderful. You are a country with lots of captive elephants, and I'm just wondering, would it be accessible your data, bird data and demographic data of your populations being published, because it's good to have to develop models for other captive elephants in other countries. So I haven't seen so much. So would it be possible to you to share those data?
Yeah, I can share. Yeah. Because how many years you want? We have data so many 30 years. You need
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
Yes.
Because we are trying to do the risk analysis in different age groups in the wild.
Yeah.
So we need a model, because your data is wonderful. So that's why
Yeah.
I couldn't find the publications. If it's a government levels, that'd be great actually to release those things.
Yeah, definitely, I can share.
One more question. One will be written if there is question. Okay, there is no question. And let us thank Dr. Samin. So we shall go for the Skype session again.
Hi, David. Hi. Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Like internet is very slow. If we are using a device, then we can just disconnect from our device. Hello.
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 Oh, we tried just audio. I think so we'll just try audio maybe.
Audio.
proceed to audio.
Yeah, let's try that. My internet's too slow to support both video and audio, so let's just try audio.
Okay, we just post video from this side and we do, so it should work. We can continue.
I closed my video.
Yeah, okay. So David, hello. Hello. No, nothing.
Hello. Hello. I'm here for you. I hear you. It's fine.
We can hear you, but the quality is really bad. You could a little bit later and then reply forward. So we can change. Yeah. Otherwise, maybe we can have a small coffee break and then we will load everything here and continue the session. Yeah? Okay. So 15 minutes coffee break.
I'll bring your notebook.
I think this will be
I got my eyes tested to see if I needed glasses, and they said I don't.
And then, do we hold it further away? There you
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that looks a bit like
all that staring into the distance.
Well, that's the thing, that they said that my eyes are not able to flip between easily. Well, Honeybuzzers have dark eyes. He's got a yellow eye.
We've got yellow eye, we've got yellow feet.
We're going to be down back. One female has a brown face. And yeah, female has yellow iris.
Oh, okay.
It's very distinctive because the beak is very, very light looking.
This one.
Well, that's the male.
Because I wouldn't have put that.
Well, this is the problem because it's quite changeable. I mean, look, that's that. You know,
Yeah.
so you can have a whole range of different.
But
It shows the breast. Also, the head shape of the beak is quite.
yeah, the breasts are, when the midget is open, where everything puts up, yeah, deeper.
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
And you have a female.
We got another picture of the back. So,
Alright. I might be on.
see, it's not possible.
Like that.
That's good. Female feathers. Honey buzzards.
Yeah, we're both big birds. Big birds back, that's what they get.
Yeah. I was listening to Becky's. Indian people. Tails and common snakes.
Every rating that's here,
I was saying he heard something last night.
the livestock is
Hard to see. And painted slide. I think I saw painted slide.
but we consider
Oh, well, maybe that's nice.
the wildlife comes so well. This is the wetland grass area, the University and wildlife. This is complicated that if it's wildlife and livestock.
Take same species or related species.
make specific laboratory for animal and the data to be shared.
There's a big old one in here too. Above your head to the left. No, because it's right above the door.
Here, come back to this.
I just realized this
So you're in a different country? Fine, fine.
Keep calm. Even if you write your name, keep calm. Suddenly the force runs. See, there is a force. The second one says, you should not shout when we sit. The third one says, that is why I am keeping quiet. That is why I am keeping calm.
First one says, that is a fox. Second one says, no, you should not shout like this. Third one says, that is why I'm keeping calm.
I mean, one of the least. I had something to sing in depression mode. Well, that's nice, but we're interested in funding things which actually protect icons. Like, oh, well, thanks very much for that. You click on this. Just totally.
Yeah, okay.
Doing things. That's exactly what you
So we start another session. I would like to invite Dr. Christopher Stream from Indonesia to present his paper.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Christopher Stremme. I'm actually German, but I'm living since a couple of years and working since a couple of years in Indonesia, mainly in Sumatra. And about almost 15 years when I arrived in Sumatra, there were a lot of, still are partially, problems with captive elephants. And I myself and a few colleagues, we started to involve in veterinary management of captive elephants. Currently, roughly, that's the situation about the elephants in for the Sumatran elephants. In Sumatra, we have fewer than 1,500 left in the wild in a highly fragmented population, and we have probably around 480 captive Sumatran elephants all over Indonesia. So it's a very small remaining number of these subspecies of the Asian elephant. which is classified as critical endangered. So over the years, mainly working, or initially only working with captive elephants, we recognized that there were no veterinary involvement at all in any kind of wild elephant conservation programs, conservation activities, conservation needs. So over years, more and more, we got also involved in very basic veterinary work with wild elephants for wild elephant conservation, such as treating wild elephants that get injured in the wild, like an elephant that got injured badly in a conflict and was in a very poor condition, which we could treat in the wild a few times. So we could trap this elephant again, dart this elephant again, and repeat the wound treatment of these elephants, or other things which I think several of you also know. Often we meet problems with juvenile elephants that trapped in wire snares, get really badly injured in these wire snares and need treatment. The difficulties that we have, of course, if we want to treat a wild elephant, of course, we have to sedate the elephant. With a wild elephant, we don't know exactly what its health condition is. We know it's injured, we know it has a health problem, we don't know the exact weight. So usually I aim to get a standing sedation, because it's easier. We don't know if the elephant is falling down, it's falling on the side that is wounded, so it's difficult to access the part of the body, but that doesn't always succeed, and sometimes the elephant actually go recumbent, and then we have to handle that situation. Of course, then conduct the treatments. And one of the most critical issues is to decide how to continue with this elephant. We have elephants that are so badly injured, we cannot leave them in the wild because they will not survive, and one treatment is not enough. And if we have not a good chance to trap them, sometimes we have to take the decision to take them into captivity, to continue the treatment in captivity. But of course, this by far is not the favorite decision. As far as possible, as far as we see a half reasonable chance that the elephants may survive in the wild, we will leave them in the wild and we will release them after the treatment. Some animals we can succeed to track them down again, sedate them again, and continue treatment. And some animals where the injuries are not too bad, they have actually enormous healing power, and actually with some elephants with crippled legs have survived in the wild and done well in the wild. So we try to take as little as possible of these injured animals into captivity, but in some cases it is obvious they will not survive in the wild, so then we have to take them into captivity and continue the treatment. Another work that we as veterinarians have to get involved is if GPS collars are fitted on wild elephants, which is done for human elephant conflict mitigation and monitoring activities and programs. It's also done for research programs to research the home range and movement patterns of the elephants. So there we have a number of duties as veterinarians, of course, the safety procedures, sedations. One thing is to prevent that the darting wound develops and an abscess develops maybe in a tetanus infection, so preventative treatments. One important thing that I have recognized with the several projects where elephants have been GPS collared is that people that design these programs, that run these programs, mostly are not veterinarians and not thinking about what is happening with the elephant individual after collaring. So for them it is important not only that the collar is on, that they can get the data from the collar. But I always, in the programs that I have been involved and still involved, are never seen a comment, never seen a strategy. What is happening to the collared elephants? Do we have the resources to track the elephant collar, the collared elephant, if something happens to the elephant? Nobody can tell you exactly how long the collar stays on the elephant. So I actually insist in programs that I'm involved in that our resources are valuable, that if you get unclear information from the collar, if you do not get information from the collar at all over several weeks, if you get consistent signal from the same spot, that we have the resources and the capacities to go in and search for that elephant. I want to have the resources to make sure that the collar, before it expires, gets exchanged or removed. We also sometimes, and we have heard that from colleagues, sometimes we have elephants that are not fully grown. And within the lifespan of a collar, which is usually somewhere between 2 and 3 years, suitable, a juvenile elephant can grow quite significantly. So I want to ensure that within that time we have the resources, the manpower and the finances to go in again and search for that elephant and either recollar that elephant with a new collar or remove the collar. And I think that's an important thing for us as veterinarians to insist that not only the biological data can be taken or the tracking data can be taken, but that we also ensure the welfare of that individual that we are targeting. And also another thing is what I have recognized, sometimes during the past years it's kind of become of a fashion to GPS collar animals because it looks nice, it can deliver nice data, which can be very, very useful. But is this program actually, has this program a follow-up? If it is for GPS, this GPS collaring is for human-elephant conflict monitoring. Is there a team on the ground that actually is using the data? Is there a team on the ground that informs the people? So is there a follow-up? Is the data actually made use of, apart from publishing on a website to promote the work that you're doing to get more funds? So that is for me very important. What is the program about and how it is possible to implement? Because we should not forget, it is a major intervention that we are doing. We might think, oh, we sedate before the collar, it's an easy thing. But it is a major intervention. It bears a lot of risk for the animals, for this individual, and with the low numbers of animals that we have, we cannot really take an unnecessary risk to lose some of them. Translocations, we are also involved in translocations in cases where, for example, elephants are, in this case, was a small group of 4 elephants who adult females with their settled daughters in an isolated area, no contact with other populations, which have been translocated to a different national park. This was a case where a calf had been, after a heavy rain and flood, had been separated from its herd. The location of the herd was known, so this elephant could be translocated back to the area where the herd was and rejoined. The duties, of course, that we have as veterinarians to determine the dosage of drug that we are using and secure and control the health of the elephant. Also make sure that the restraint, the physical restraint which is put on the elephant is not causing any unnecessary health risk. Often, as Dr. Zoll already mentioned, if you do translocations, elephants get translocated over far distances. A wild elephant on a truck doesn't stay calm for 36 or 48 hours or more. So there is some kind of sedation, tranquilization needed. That is again a question of dosage. If we tranquilize an elephant, depending on which drug is available and which we use, can also compromise the motility of the gastrointestinal tract. So we have to cope with problems of bloat and constipation in these animals. So that's all things that require veterinary care. And before we got as veterinarians involved in Sumatra, a lot of elephants in all these activities had died during these kind of operations. Collecting of samples for disease surveillance, collecting samples for genetic works, all these duties that we have to be in charge for as veterinarians during these operations. In terms of the possibility, because Dr. Zoll mentioned the critical points, it is not just as easy take an elephant, bring it somewhere and the job is done. Very often that causes new problems or the other problems reappear. We have in some cases quite good experiences over the years with some of the translocations, but it's really a question of the individual, it's a question of the area where the elephant gets translocated to, what is the area like, what is the elephant population. What we have experienced that did not succeed, which failed totally, is mostly where elephants get captured, in a conflict, elephants get captured and get taken back to the same place where they have come from, only some, between 10 and 100 kilometers away. That is cases where also from our experience, usually the elephants consider all of this area of their home range. And just 100 kilometers, if that is part of the home range, is nothing to an elephant. It will appear again in the area where some come from. But we have had a few cases like this upload male, which has been translocated over a distance of almost 400 kilometers in an area that we didn't know before, where there was a group with females, where no male was around, and so far from the GPS collar data, this elephant stays in this area since the last 2 years. And so I think there is a translocation can be an option for certain cases, but it's not an easy option, and a lot of parameters have to be considered beyond the veterinary parameters to have a chance to succeed with it. And of course, if there is no habitat, there's also no chance to translocate the elephant. Of course, in the end of the day, it goes back to the availability of habitat. This is just very briefly the drugs that we are using in Sumatra, not because it's probably the most ideal drugs, ketamine, cytosine, but it's the drugs that we usually have available in there. Luckily, it works quite well in elephants. So all the intervention in wild elephants and captive elephants that I have done in Sumatra, and we have done with the combination of cytosine and ketamine, both captive and wild. And in the wild elephants, usually once the elephants get released or the procedure is finished, we use an antidote, we use yohimbine to reverse the sedation. In captive elephants, if I do something, usually I don't reverse it, because if I do something which needs sedation, it's usually something for surgical or major treatment, where I'm happy that the elephant is still a little bit calmed down after the treatment, not to manipulate on the wound or whatever we've done on the elephant. Very important duty for us as veterinarian for wild elephant conservation is the conduction of proper postmortems. If there are findings of elephants, also that's something that has for many years never conducted. It's still very difficult because often we do not get immediately the information. A problem is that wildlife authorities not always consider that as an important part of the work. It starts to change now with over the course of years that we have had some findings and some success. So our duties, of course, have a proper standardized post-mortem procedure. One very important aspect is to understand the legal aspects of the country that we're working in. Because, for example, in Indonesia, me as a non-government veterinarian, I cannot conduct a post-mortem for legal procedures for law enforcement. That has to be done by a government veterinarian. Of course, technically, I can support a government veterinarian. I can work with a government veterinarian. But the person in charge has to be a government veterinarian who signs the papers, issues the papers. It has to be present a person from the law enforcement authorities like police. Certain forms have to be filled, and only certain forensic laboratories from the police can be used for evaluation of samples if we aim for a forensic procedure. So if we want to prove illegal killing and want to prosecute somebody, then we need really to know about the legal procedures in the country that apply. Otherwise, all the work that we are doing, however, technically might be done in a good way, but if you don't consider the legal procedures, our work is useless. Of course, we need to understand the anatomical features of the species that we do post-mortem in. What I have experienced often when I get called or get I really called from some colleagues that have not much experience developing
मैले नगराउने भनेर यतिको छोटै ठिक हुन्छ भने बोक्न पनि सजिलो मलाई त्यही अगाडिको
and of course we have, besides collecting the samples, understanding how to store and ship the samples as a veterinarian, we also have the responsibility to proper dispose the carcass in a way that it doesn't cause any risk for the future. Well, diseases, surveillance and prevention in wild elephants, of course, is increasingly important. Currently, for wild elephants, there are no programs run. We have no programs yet. There's a big gap and a big lack on that. So mainly because
there is not the structure, there is not really the capacity, and also the understanding of the authorities about that is very limited so far.
2 more minutes.
Often we get, oh, it's wild elephants, they live and die, and they have always done that. Yes, they've always done that, but the habitat is changing, so a lot of parameters is changing, which also may have changed the influence on the pathogens, or the influence on the pathogens of the population, which we have to consider. Another thing is what I said, the limited resources that we have in human capacity. Since some 2 years I'm invited to work with the veterinary faculty in Banda Aceh to help to establish wildlife veterinary teaching and training courses. So I majorly teach on elephants. We have invited colleagues from Sumatra orangutan programs to teach about orangutan medicine. We try to invite guest lecturers like Martin Gilbert and Aaron Sokaraya, giving seminars on emerging disease to our students. Also involving the students in practical work, like here with colleagues from Singapore who doing a course on reptile medicine, or here specifically a training course for veterinarians and wildlife authorities on crocodile management and crocodile disease and crocodile conservation issues. Another thing is that we have established a wildlife ambulance with our veterinary faculty to be able to provide veterinary service for authorities and also for conservation NGOs who do not have veterinarians. And that, of course, is also a great opportunity to involve students in different kind of hands-on veterinary work and hopefully for the future train veterinarians for wildlife, interest them and then become enthusiastic about wildlife. Last but not least, captive elephant care. I was talking about the importance of veterinary services for wild elephant conservation. Why does that matter? Well, we've seen in all the other presentations in many countries, wild elephants are utilized for captive elephants are utilized for wild elephant conservation activities, and that is also the case in Sumatra, where in many areas elephants are used for patrolling, monitoring wild elephant groups, patrolling for removing snares, here wire snares, also for human-elephant conflict management. So if you want to use our captive elephants as a conservation tool, we need, of course, maintain them healthy, and we want to maintain this captive population to use this resource also in the future. And of course, we want to prevent spillover from disease from the captive population into the wild if they have contact with wild elephants. So I want to thank specifically for the veterinary work that I'm involved in, US Fish and Wildlife Service, Asian Elephant Support, and the International Elephant Project for providing funding support to establish the work that we're doing on the veterinary side. And I want also to thank very much the host of this workshop, the Agriculture and Forestry University here in Chitwan, and the National Trust for Nature Conservation for organizing this event. I know that there are a lot of people behind that. That's a huge amount of work to do. I'm very happy to be invited and participate. So thank you very much, and thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you, Christopher. You please stay there a couple of minutes. The floor may have some questions for you. I would like to open the floor if there are any questions. Please, David.
What occurs if David from Fiji. What occurs if an injured elephant is tranquilised in deep bush and you suggest you need rehabilitation? How do you? Is there any case where it's too difficult to transport those to hospital?
We have again here we have a number of experienced mahouts and elephants, so-called punky elephants. So these elephants, if wild elephants need to be transported, whether it's injured elephants or translocation elephants, there always will be employed captive elephants that have experience in handling, pushing, dragging wild elephants.
to load them on a truck and unload them on trucks. So that is a vital tool which is used now.
Any more questions for Christopher?
I think I just want to make one comment on the radio coloring issue. Like same thing also happens in India. Many biologists or many researchers do radio coloring, and I have pictures of elephant actually strangulated by radio colors. So, like we should be careful while being a part of that radio coloring system, because after your job is done, first thing is that nobody is using the information properly after doing. So it is a fashionable thing to radio color animals. Then, if we radio color, we should also have the responsibility to save the animal afterwards, like remove the collar or replace with another. Like I agree with that. It's very important.
That's a great answer. And I think we should impose the researchers to put some funding for monitoring even after their research work is finished, so that we could monitor whether the collar is damaging the animal. If it is damaging, we should arrange the veterinary team and take to the spot, everything to the spot and remove the. So we should advise our researchers, biologists, to put some funding in their research program. Thanks, that was my comment. Let us give Christopher a big hand. Let's go to another presentation. I would like to invite Dr. Kushal Sharma, Professor at Assam University, on EEHB updates in Northeast India.
Thank you, Chairman Sir, and good morning, everybody. It's not an academic lecture or anything, just an update on the EEHB status from Northeast India. So we all know that India is a big country, and we have 4 distinct areas of elephant population. So
the backside. Backside. Backside.
Yeah. Okay. It's here. Yeah, I found it. So I'm talking about this northeastern population, which is very important, and almost 10,000 elephants are there in all those 7 states. And I'm talking about Assam, the whole of Northeast. The other states, there are no reported cases of EEHB so far. In Assam, we have a few. So I'm just going to discuss on that. So these are the protected areas of Assam. And we see this is Kaziranga National Park. This is Orang National Park. This is Lamding Reserve Forest. And this is Manas National Park. And down south, this is a non-forest area where, like all these red spots I have shown, because we have found EEHB cases in all those isolated points. So we have a good population of wild elephant in Assam. In spite of all the conflict, in 2017, last 3 months, we lost about 70 elephants because of the conflict, which is very alarming. We also have a good captive population. So far as the census is concerned, the last census, we don't have a fresh report. It was 1,260. So this is the population estimate. In the wild, we have 5,723 elephants in Assam alone, and 1,000 plus captive elephants at least. And the whole region has about 10,000 elephants. So this is an important population, and the graded EEHB is there, and we are threatened, we are scared. So that is why I want to give this update. We want international support and help so that we can face this problem that is coming from this disease. So now we have the first report, it was not declared or it was not found on scientific study that these were herpes cases, but we have about 20 wild calves dead in Manas National Park in 2015 and 16. Unfortunately, all the calves were found in highly decomposed state, so herpes could not be confirmed. But if you see the age group, there are suspicion aroused, so around 3 to 5 years old calves mostly were found dead, though other animals were safe. And interesting to note that the population in Manas National Park has registered healthy growth, because in the militancy time the population crashed to up to 700 or below. Now the elephant population has grown to up to 10,000, 1,000. What's that noise? Now these 20 cases were not confirmed, but there is a strong suspicion that these were herpes cases. In Kaziranga National Park, we have about 1,100 to 1,200 wild elephants. We have some 60 camp elephants, duty elephants. So in two different ranges, one in the easternmost, another on the westernmost, we had two positive cases which were confirmed on PCR. The first one we lost, and the latest one survived. Then in Dr. Bhaskar had presented yesterday in the Rescue Center of Wildlife Trust of India. Last, I think 2-3 months back, we had one pair with positive on PCR and with some peculiar symptoms, which earlier we did not see. That I will show you. And one very young calf, which was just 7 days old, with like classical physical signs. It was not confirmed on PCR, but unfortunately these 3 animals survived, and another one on Kaziranga also survived. The Lumbini Reserve Forest, I said the captive elephants, 2 very healthy captive calves we lost, and they were very clear signs of herpes. I will show you pictures of that. Also confirmed on PCR. Then in Borak Valley, which is totally isolated, a captive calf of about 8 plus classical symptoms, dead, the animal died, and also confirmed on PCR. So total we have 8 cases, and diagnosis was made mostly on clinical signs, then CPCR and postmortem lesions and histopathology. Signs that we observed were the first signs: lethargy, off-head, the swelling of head, face, tongue, eyelids, and base of trunk, purplish discoloration of the tongue, blood in the stool, occasionally, not always, dyspnea. Some animals suffer from respiratory problem, and in 2 animals, very distinct signs of incoordination. Like most of the time, we find the head like this, purplish discoloration of the tongue, and swelling over the eyes. In one interesting case, which also survived, we had vesicles over the tongue, which was unusual formation. So here, on either side of the tongue, their tongue was also swollen and vesicle formation. And this is not a dead animal, but you see, most of the time, the affected animals prefer to lie down for much longer time than usual. So there is a video. Just click. Yes.
You didn't get to file.
Ask her to come.
You that in the folder?
Yeah, we need that. Okay, by the time when the video comes, huh? EHV outlet. EHV outlet. Okay, leave it. In fact, I just wanted to show very peculiar signs of incoordination, which we never saw before. And interestingly, just give it. Okay, interestingly, the animals were still eating and drinking water, so it was possible to give electrolyte orally besides the intravenous fluid. So most of the time we are following this protocol as per the working group recommendations. So acyclovir, and that is the treatment protocol we are following. 6 hourly first, and we give up to 15 mg per kg body weight. Then 6 hourly for 2 days, 8 hourly for 3 days, and 12 hourly for 7 more days. We give a lot of intravenous fluid, oral electrolytes, and also parectal rehydration when the animal has not suffered from diarrhea. Flunixin macromide, antibiotic, dexamethasone, vitamin C, E, A. If there is hemorrhage started, we also give some hemostatic drug and immune stimulant drugs. We also have a good news now in India. We also have acyclovir available, which can be given intravenously and much lower dose, 5 mg per kg body weight. So sometimes, in fact, most of the time, the calves they refuse the oral medication. Of course, we can give parectal, but if we can give injection, definitely it is preferable, and we are sure that the drug has been administered. So post-mortem signs, these are very characteristic hemorrhages in the omentum, over the tongue, like that. So all hemorrhagic internal parts. Then the histopathology and these inclusion bodies. So altogether we have, I say, 8 cases. 5 cases were confirmed on PCR, and again another adult female. Adult female in Oran National Park. There are 12 calves right now of herpes age, and we have one adult female which is PCR positive. She has been delivering calves every 3-4 years. They are all healthy, but the mother is positive. So, like Arun has raised certain suggestions, questions. So, regarding PCR, I think many questions are not answered. We need to find a lot of research should go into it. Though whatever information we have, the scientific information so far, with that also we need to work. But still, many informations are pending. I have shown you the incidences which are far and wide, unconnected population. Kerala Southdown, they have first reported in 2005, and our case in Assam, the first case happened only in 2015. But it's the incidence is growing now. And one good observation that I have, last 4 cases, the virulence was, and we could save all these 4 cases with the same treatment protocol. But in the past, the same treatment could not save any animal. Maybe one thing is that the treatment started immediately after the first signs were like that. So, survivors. Now the problem is, in Assam, most of the part, our captive elephants are in interaction with the wild population. Like if the captive born calves are vulnerable, if they cannot be saved, the captive population will also suffer as well as the wild population. Now in India, the Indian government is concerned about this disease. They wanted our suggestion. What do you? Now it is very difficult what the government should do. Only some open suggestions like reduce the interaction and like that livestock grazing into the park. The park habitat should be improved like that. You can see then improve veterinary expertise in doctoring of elephants, training of the captive calves like that. Then we also insisted that the research component should be developed. We have very good research institutions in India. I think the herpes virus is not their concern right now. So the government of India, like for example, Indian Veterinary Research Institute in Bareilly, then Wildlife Institute of India in Dehradun, like in 4 or 5 different areas, there should be good laboratories so that the research can be done and all that. I want to highlight on 4 points. That is what I have said just now. Improvement of laboratory facilities and creation of awareness, because even now, not only forest officials, even our veterinarians are not much aware of this particular emerging disease. Recently, like Kaziranga National Park, we had one case of herpes. The doctor from the rescue center, the CWRC, he came and he declared it could be herpes and he prescribed acyclovir. I think that happened in the afternoon. Till next day, there was no treatment initiated. So I learned from Guwahati, I called the divisional forest. He says, I didn't know that it is such a serious disease. Governor was here, so I was with him. So, like, they are not aware about the danger of the disease. So, I think the training of other forest officials and also the mahouts. Mahouts are also very important because they are always with the elephant. So, if there is any like behavioral change or clinical sign these animals are showing, immediately they should report. That this kind of awareness is required. Only then we can save some of the animals which are affected. Like we also need to upgrade our existing laboratory facilities, particularly in those areas where we have good population of elephants. Like we need to have the qPCR in Assam, which we don't have right now, and training of large number of veterinarians who are handling wildlife. So nothing much. This is the update. So with this, I want to conclude. Thank you very much.
Can I ask you a question, Dr. Sharma? Yeah, what's this EHV species you have? Which EHV? So issue 1 or issue 1A or B? Or
Not confirmed. That is what I said.
you didn't have the sequence?
No, sequencing
So
has
you got
not
only
been
the
done.
PCR now?
Yeah.
Dr. Bhaskar, could you please show that video? I was transferring.
Okay.
So that is what we need. Those like some sequencing is being done in our microbiology department.
Only one.
Only one.
Okay, now the sequence. Which one is it? H1A? Okay.
I can share the publications.
Yeah. That's again, secondly, regarding the treatment, 2 things actually. Should we have to give IV fluids in EHV cases? I don't think, because it's having the platelet counts goes down like anything. So if you give the fluid, that's dangerous. Then dexamethasone on treatment, should we have to give? So treatment, I mean, we have that workshop in you remember, so what was the recommendation? Only give the productive fluid rather than give the fluid, as for the crystalline fluids.
The recommendation to rather go for rectal than fluids than for IV fluids is also because we do not want too much to compromise the veins with the puncturate for the injection. So it is recommended to prefer rectal fluid substitution to prevent the veins from getting punctured. and the use remains only for specific IV medications.
Rather than that, because for example, if you have a viral, productive viral that compromises your immunity, if your platelet goes, this is a typical case, the platelet count will decrease. It causes more hemorrhages. So and seepage will be more. So
right.
Is it ideal to keep? And again, yeah,
it is recommended according to experience to the experience from colleagues that have successfully treated certain IVIX fluids that contain colloids or plasma that contains fresh, but that should then be ideally fresh plasma, because in frozen plasma you have deactivated.
Because we, in the beginning, we had this problem. We treated with fluids and dexamethasone, and it's aggravated conditions in a couple of calves. So I think there should be some consensus regarding this.
Yeah, sure, but that is a discussion that we have in the EIHB group, and there are still different opinions about that. What is the most successful, or what is the best way to do that in the clinical cases. So if you can use infusions that contain colloids like amino acids that will bind also fluid in the blood vessels, that might be appropriate. But I think now it's all based on practical experience, not really on empiric studies.
Actually, forgive me. Okay, one more thing. Dr. Sharma talked about so many things in the adult. Actually, we documented adults are shedding virus. So it's probable you will get some adults with positive cases. That doesn't mean they are killing people.
Yeah, that is what I said. The one which was positive on, because we have screened the animals, one adult was positive, but no younger was, or there was no case of any clinical incidence of herpes in Orang National Park. We have about 35 captive elephants there. So screening is going on. So definitely, the disease, about this disease, a lot of things are yet to be understood. Regarding intravenous administration, like the last experience that we have, because the animal started diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, in that case, you cannot use the regular route for rehydration. So an intravenous fluid we have administered, and like the animal responded. And it was a trained elephant, it was 6 years old. It was easier to give intravenous administration. So there was no any side effect to that. The animal survived. That is the experience.
Any more questions for Dr. Sharma? Otherwise, we have more papers on herpes, elephant herpes again. We may have chances to discuss again in other sessions. I would like to thank Dr. K.D. Sharma for this session. Now we would like to see that video that was that found, Dr. Bhaskar? No? No, we would like to see now. Okay? Just hold on, please. That should be a brief video. Because we have Nepalese participants also here. Many of them haven't seen the signs and symptoms. So tomorrow, afterwards, later, it doesn't. It may be forgotten. Let us have a look. 2-3 minutes. Dr. Ravi, please get ready for your paper. First after the video on man conflict and education around Tadova Adari Tiger Reserve in India. possible? Because I myself got the first case of elephant herpes in one elephant calf here, right here at Saura. And there was no knowledge at all.
Both of them are affected. They are drinking. But you can see the narrowing incoordination.
Thank you. Thank you. Please proceed, Dr. Ravi, on your paper.
Good morning, myself Dr. Ravi, working at the Wildlife Veterinary in Sarwan and Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra, India. I would like to discuss regarding the human wildlife conflict in This is our area statistic. In TATR, we have core area and buffer area. In Chandrapur, apart from TATR, we have the territorial forest area. In territorial forest area, there are 3 divisions: Chandrapur division, Brahmapur division, Central Canada division. So, in the territorial, you see the forest area. Percentage of forest area is so less. What I want to try to this slide, we have the tigers, and they have to migrate towards the territorial area. This is Taraba, red one is Taraba. About moves after dispersal towards the Brahmapuri territorial divisions. Then in the low line there is the Central Chanda. There is near about this Central Chanda division tigers are going towards the Andhra Pradesh cover area, and this is the territorial forest area. So that's why the man-animal conflict in this in our area is highly high incidence in man-animal conflict. This tiger population in TATR we have 88 tigers, excluding cubs. In territorial forest area we have also 68 tigers. This is lots of number of tigers in our area. Compensation for in human wildlife conflict, you see during 17-18 we have cattle kill of 372 in TATRs, injured 3, human deaths 2, and crop damages cases are 9. We are paying the less compensation according relatively this after 2 years. In territorial area we have also minimized this cattle kill compensation, then injured compensation. Some they are having increases because due to the leopard also, increased number of leopards and tigers also. Human injured are 96, since from 15-16 there are 154 human injured, and human deaths was 6. In 17-18 we have only 2 human deaths. And crop damages that we have to compensate, that is less 1,914. Tiger deaths are in TATR we have lost 2 tigers in 16-17. In Chandrapur territorial forest area we have lost 5 tigers. In our forest department of Maharashtra we are taking the preventive measures to minimize the human wildlife conflict. We have provided the LPG gas connections in TATR villages. Around 95% families, we have almost covered the LPG supply. So it minimizes the forest dependency of the villages. We have 100% solar fencing and chain link fencing, which is provided towards the agricultural field area. So the white boar issues, then blue boar issues, and in the search of prey, tiger or leopard moving towards the crop. So that will be minimized by this solar fencing. Regular awareness program we are done. We have taken care in the core and territorial village areas. Around 60-70 villages are covered with the toilet, because most of the conflict has been happened in the morning call. In the villages, that is, they are using open defecations. So we provide this toilet facility so that to minimize this encounter with the wildlife. In mitigation measures, we have in TATR we have the trained wildlife rescue unit, and in territorial forest area we also have the wildlife veterinarian and wildlife rescue team. In TATR, in Tadawandar Tiger, we have the special tiger protection force. The peoples of STPF, they are trained for the monitoring and all kind of wildlife rescue operations. We have trained elephants for wildlife rescue and monitoring operations. These operations, we are using the elephants in the for the rescuing of the any man-animal conflict case. We have developed a transit treatment center for rescued or injured wild animals in our district for a day or two. Requires treatments. For the long-term monitoring care and management, we have the Gorewada Rescue Center in Nagpur. It is well equipped and well staffed is there. Some rescue conditions in my area. There's wild animal fall in the water while dry well in trap in house. And animal rescue, we have to rescue the and reunite the cubs with mother. Treatment for injured wild and basically with the conflict is TATR. In 17-18, I just monkeys. They are from the village area. So I have monkeys, blue bull, then leopard also, tiger also. This Shivli tigers. See, this is the first target animal, which is whether it is a male or female, to put the camera traps and take the portal sap and send it for the CCMB laboratory to finalize which is the whether it is a male tiger or female tiger. Then we make the awareness programs. This kind of awareness programs in the morning call and evening. Then we put the tigers have killed 3 humans and 5 humans have been injured. We could track and we could tranquilize it kept in the. This is in the Gadchuri forest area. I think there is an action. So there are no animals, no wild animals because the area because there are the problem of slides. So in that there is a very fragmented forest area. We have the tiger there in that case. So this tigress has been killed 4 persons, 6 are injured. So we track it and give but unfortunately the tiger has been electrocuted after 2 or 3 months. So we cannot save this tiger because this awareness program rescue operations. This leopard has been rescued from the snare trap. This is tiger. This is trapped in the clutch wire. We are giving the awareness programs for the forest staff and the RRU, is rapid response unit peoples. We do all these things regularly. This kind of we have to handle. Rescue, veterinary have 2 challenges, big challenges have because people are so panicked regarding when there is a rescue, when there is a conflict. See, these are the villagers. These are the villagers. They are trying to force. They are troubling during the rescue. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. If there are any questions, welcome. I think there are no questions. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you.
And I would like to talk another presenter from Mongolia, Dr. Sander. Surveillance and diagnosis of wildlife diseases, Mongolia.
Good morning, thank you very much. I'm Batak from Mongolia.
I work at the Department of Veterinary and Animal Service. I will give you some information about Mongolia. Mongolia climate patterns are continental climate with a very cold conditions to cool to hot summers in the deserts and semi-deserts. Temperature records indicate a very wide variation between winter and summer. After order of 80 Fahrenheit Celsius, on average in the northern part of the country, and even on a single day, the variation can be as much as 55 Fahrenheit Celsius. Precipitation, rainfall and snow are also very uneven, dependent on elevation and latitude. Snow occurs in the mountain regions in the form of these deserts, which also cover the steppes. During the period of thin layer of snow, usually stops grazing by animals in these pastures. Grassland and scrubland covers 55% of the country. Forest covers only 36% is covered by desert vegetation. Only 1% is used for human habitation and agriculture purposes. Mongolia has not tiger as in rhino and elephant, but we have 400 fish, including 330, 119 distinct foods. Whereas also has 130, almost 140 species of mammals and 22 species of reptiles, 6 species of amphibians. Whereas per species such as snow globe, 10,000 in this gazelle lot of number is 500,000. And wild sheep, Siberian ibex, and pike. This animal is introduced to Mongolia. Some carnivores, this snow leopard lives in the mountain, also a lot of grey walrus live. Mongolia has some protected areas. This red one is strictly protected areas. The white is national park. National parks have 9 national parks have. Snow leopard only lives this area, and Mongolian tigers lives there. Gazelles there. We had not any surveillance data of wildlife because managed another ministry, environment and tourism ministry, because interdisciplinary and interdisciplinary collaboration is not so good. This one of the board's data. In 2017, collected samples number of 260. Detected 3 values on in the 2007. Identified as H7 and 9, H7 and 7, H3 and 9 also. Gadget most important scientists there is FMD and PPR, wild rabbits for wildlife. In last 20 years, we collected some samples. This is positive case. Also, RT-PCR SARS phase 1. During the outbreak, clinical symptoms, some animals detected this result. Our diagnostic laboratory is one. There is 6. It has 6 divisions. One of the main division is tax division. This one mobile and PSL3 has 3 laboratory. Mongolia for wildlife important diseases 3 or 4 diseases. Very important. One is rabies, grey wolves, red fox, and livestock registered each year. Average is 200 to 300 cases registered. Most of them registered grey wolves. Also, FMD is for gazelle is very so many cases registered. There's one KPR registered first time in 2016 in Mongolia, but wildlife registered for wildlife in 2017. Wildlife first case is Saiga. This one died of heart and PPR in the upper region. In ibex, argali, and goiter gazelle also diagnosed PPR. This one is Saiga's population. In January of 2007, this population is almost 1,000 was. This one is ancient animals because here expert he works with us the outbreak on when we worked we found carcass on the frozen diseased area. 5,300 Saiga will died about, but almost 4% clinical prepare on Saiga. This is connected with this charge and lungs. Very different. was. Some of the samples, investigating samples results. Sampling data is one, this one is 6. Samples, discharge, discharge, eye discharge, and nose discharge. Positive cases active by RT-PCR. This one also another all. This one is kind of RT-PCR results. This positive, septicemia is positive, also PPR, also allergic septicemia or diagnosed this SIDA. This one only hits after we have collected some samples, young kids, the 1 day age old, 2 days, 1 hour, 1 day, 2 days, more than 1 day, 2 days. There's only 2 cases positive ELISA result. This is key diagnostic hit. Too many SIGA died in.
Dr. Shanag, would you like to show the video? This will be 5 minutes. There is no file in the folder.
It's about some virus, so if I say results. This one, all of livestock result. This one is ibex, there's ibex also. This is similar, one lineage, and origin is isolated in China 2014. This is nearby our virus.
Dr. Shanag, your time is almost over.
Some methods is carcass part, right? PPR detected in some animals, Sida, black-eyed gazelle, and white chicken diabetes there. There's one experiment place. This is a current site distribution area. This is case. This red one is livestock. Yellow one is wild sheep. Then side up. This one is collected gazelle. Some animals. This illustrated case. Patient conditions with high snowfalls and scarce vegetation in the coastal band are very challenging for the wildlife. So we have implemented some fighting measures in cooperation with local communities are putting haze and forest for the wildlife. We had detected automatic cameras video. There's one. Most of the challenging is common now because we have more than 10 days. Frequent extreme natural conditions is very, very different countries. And so good is Mongolia. Insufficient human resources because we have almost not lifetime livestock. Thank you very much.
Questions for presenting the paper from Mongolia. Then after we'll have a 5-minute break, okay? Wildlife and elephant rescue and in China. Dr. Bao, please.
And if I don't interpret correctly in Chinese, if you can speak Chinese, please don't tell me.
Sorry.
Today we will introduce some rescue cases about wild Asian elephant in China.
Light in the back.
野生的大亚洲象在中国主要分布在西南的云南省。
This is a distribution of wild Asian elephant in China. You can see that is a map of China, and the pink area is Yunnan province in the east southwest of China. And if you can see, the red area is where Xizhuangbanna locates. It's the only habitat of wild Asian elephant in China right now.
西双版纳主要分布在龙阳自然保护区、自然保护区和上阳自然保护区，这个是以老挝。
And the national natural and the shadow area is the area. Xizhuangbanna is very near from Laos and Myanmar.
野生的大象在中国范围内大概在300头左右。
And the wild elephants in China is about 300 now, and the number is still rising because of protections.
加上近养象大概在100头左右。
And 100 captive.
总体上来说，300头的数量是非常少的，但是随着保护力度的加强，也向着呈现一个上升的趋势。
Compared to Myanmar and Laos, the population of wild Asian elephant in China is small. But
现在野生大象的一个救助情况。
this is a case right now.
这是一头被铁加上的一头雌性的小象。
The calf was caught by the Aryan club. Farmers put the Aryan club into the forest to catch the wild boar.
这是救人的一个系统，伤口的处理，还有跟一些森林公园之间的一个协作。
And because the elephant herd is walking around, we asked the government for help, and over 6 people.
OK， 他的伤口非常的深。我们这个是在治疗输液的一个过程，这个是激注消炎药的一个过程。同时，茶叶血对的。
The management inflammations, and we boil some teas and apply the tea, and it's very effective. It took about half a year to recover.
心脏很好，每天都在山里自由的活动。
And now the elephant is about 15 years and run very fast.
这是叫平平第一次加重手术的一个现场。
The elephant was attacked by male elephants and striking white.
OK， 这个是在麻醉那个拍摄一个组织的现场。
And we have to remove the decorate tissue.
是在体质恢复期的一个饲养情况、后情况。
And you can see in the early treatment, the elephant is physically missing away.
他生活的也很好，但是呢，就是他的料理力还没有完全治愈。
After 10 years treatment, there has been treatment on the urine, not on the urine.
这是一个雄性的公鸡，然后发现是处于一个昏迷的一个状态，而且这是新鲜。
This is fighting or fighting with other elephants. When we found a suffered internal.
用甘蔗投饮消炎药的一个过程，我们是在麻醉状态检查的一个状况。
We drugs of anti into the sugar cane to feed the and way to our center.
这个我们这个也是在救护中心进行治疗，第二次、第三次治疗进行外移的过程。
We have twice examinations to the elephant, and after 1 year and a half recovery, the elephant can went into the forest and takes the walking for 4 to 7 hours every day.
现在恢复得很好，但是呢，他的右眼是看不见的、失明的，所以仍然需要一个人工的照顾和演化训练。
Because of the blindness of its right eye, this elephant is bad-tempered and very dangerous to our keepers.
这是在水池里记录了3头小象，我们通过直升飞机还有无人机的一个救援还有这个挖掘机的救援。
This is one on-site case. You can see one adult elephant jump into the hole to lift the calf up. It has been 45 hours when we found the 3 elephants. UAV to drive away and monitor and pay close attention. Physical data.
是它的一个空气，然后这日常的一个护理和记录的一个过程。
And in the first picture, that's the milk powder we use for the elephant now is a little expensive. And we also add the coconut juice and vitamin into.
性价比现在用量应该在20公斤左右，还有10几公斤差距。
And the baby elephant have about 2 grams of goat milk of plants. And we also take daily records, data from intake and the activity level when we take the record.
这个消毒时，这个是会在过程一些菜系的一些保暖啊。
Have to and have we also provide heat only at winters.
那这是通过分辨还有这样的一个过程。
Because this is human together, we need to take the elephant for the wilderness training. We wipe other elephants down. Every day, elephants wild in the wild.
这12个星期的养育给了2个月、9个月、18个月的小孩，他喝盐了，然后的话呢，他的可能免疫力比较差啊。然后呢，就是他喝盐了，他有很大的一个阳伤，向前不容易接待他。
The kind of difficulty about the young new kids, it's still included from the other rescue elephants in our center because the specific smell of the goat milk and through 90 days of our observation, we found the calf can't survive on its own, so we rescue the calf back to our center.
这是我们在观察，其实发现现成的气感它的一个动作，这是相关的一些急救药品的一个准备在野外。
And you can see other adult elephant is attacking Xiaoqiang.
通过后面，然后这是它和其他的大象融入在一起，生活得很好，然后现在的很快乐的一个状态。
This case of Xiaoqiang is much easier than young news case, the goat milk elephant. This Xiaoqiang lives very well, but he has the behavior of overeating.
每天他也跟其他的大象到森林当中去，就是这个一样。
Every day he will go back into the forest with the other elephants to take the wilderness training.
OK， 这是救助中心的基本情况。2018年接下是中国野生动物保护及自然保护基本工程之一，主要进行亚洲线的救助与防疫等工作。
It's about China Asian elephant breeding and rescue center. It was established in 2008 and is one of the national wildlife conservation program in China. It was built to engage in the breeding work of Asian elephant.
主要承担3大功能，一个是野象的就是野化驯养，然后一个是防疫，目前还有很多现象。
So far we have rescued 16 wild Asian elephants. None of them are living in the center to get the long-term treatment, and 4 elephants were raised in the wild, and the other 2 elephants, these rescued elephants, need to take the wellness training and walk in the forest for 4 to 7 hours. And from 2008, we have 5 baby elephants here.
Thank you. 非常感谢参加这样的大会，相信以后的大象和其他野生动物一定会救治和保护。
Thank you so much. Thank you for the workshops, the cases, and
就要欢迎各位到我们特别感谢都是先生，谢谢。
And welcome all you to come to China and visit, especially Dr. Bao, and treat very well, and especially Dr. Christopher.
Thank you, Dr. Bao. So probably there are no questions. We shall have a 5-minute rest. 5 minutes. We are a little bit late. Be here after 5 minutes. Please.
डाक्टर साहब दुईटा छ हजुर अब
तीनटा छ हजुर
लन्च अगाडि
छिटो होला
नाही असं
प्रेजेन्टेसन खानालाई खाना एउटा अनियनको एउटा चिल्लीको एउटा तिनवटा एउटा प्रेजेन्टेसन पछि लन्च ब्रेक 45 मिनट हो तिनवटा त So everybody inside. I'd like to call Mr. Sarola to present his paper on disease surveillance. I would like to request all presenters, 3 presenters before lunch. Please try to finish.
I'm talking about how our surveillance has gone in the past and what we are doing in present and what we are clearing for the future. So, if it is rich in biodiversity, and if you about the we have this captive population, it's around 200 elephant population, actual population around 200 as well. well. And we have the tiger population of around 100, it's 198, and we have the rhino population of 645. The three species we in the lowland Tarai area of Nepal. Considering about the history of our disease surveillance, TB is the most, tuberculosis is the most important disease, or in past major our disease surveillance was focused on the tuberculosis. The tuberculosis of the is we consider, and basic disease we were more focused. Like first case of the TB was found in between two cases was found between 2002 to 2000, and we have started the surveillance TB through trunk wash testing for culture in 2005, and most of our treatment of our elephant was started around 2008. Like these are some of the photographs of the tuberculosis cases in our elephant we have. And if we talk about the current surveillance capabilities we have in Nepal is like we have increased our diagnostic facilities since last years. We have had a molecular diagnostic lab in our center here in Saura, where we can run PCR capabilities. We could run serological test with ELISA, and also we could run all the biochemistry when we got diseased animal. We microbiology and all the clinical pathologies like CBCs. All of these, and like events, we would have biopsy, and we are also using it for the different tests. Valuable asset future. Now we are getting these blood samples even used for other biological research, like we have a projects on wild as well as livestock in the buffer zone, and we are doing on the elephant endotheliotrophic herpes virus, and also started doing work on the foot and mouth disease in livestock of buffer zones. This, like as I have told that before we used to have lots of tuberculosis thing in elephant. Recently, we have in 2015 we have came across the tuberculosis infection in one of our free-ranging rhinoceros. This was the rhino which got the TB, and this is the lesions. And we have like cattle. It is 12. Now we are running 3 cases. We were able to save the calf pathogenic lesions of E, and this is one of the survived case in near the one of the ESB. History of case of ESB: 2 cases in NHC herd and 2 cases in elephant breeding center herd. Both has came across the ESB infection, and we selected 10 breeding female to see if there is any virus shedding in their trunk, and we have found that in like we have done weekly sampling for the 4 weeks, and among like 7 weeks we have collected trunk wash and conjunctival swab. Among 30 trunk wash we collected, 7 were shedding DNA of the ESB type 1 infection, and like there was no any in conjunctival swab. And important is like 6 of 10 elephant were shedding virus. And if you see the like I have these 2 elephant has the history of their calf died due to ESB. Even they are also one of them was shedding the virus. These are the viral DNA in certain like 4 weeks time. And this is the image got gene of. And another important disease, we don't know whether it is canine distemper, but considered as very important all over the. These are some of the camera trap images of the tiger. This is the program we have put the image from the camera trap. So we don't know whether canine distemper virus. But we are trying to look, as stated yesterday, that the people are looking after for the regional canine distemper virus. There was one run together with NTNC and Chittor National Park. Like we like four, just from each sector we collected before, and like these are the different data obtained from that small pilot research, and these are the positives. Like in Saura sector there was 32% was positive, here 50%, and in Basra sector there was 8% of the total sample dog were positive, and in western sector we have 20% dog were positive. These two places are just near to the in the buffer zone area, and we have found the foot and mouth disease outbreak of that disease in that livestock that region, and so we are planning to do whether we are doing more focus on the livestock of the buffer zone where there is more chance of the interaction between livestock and our wildlife like deer population and also rhino population, where there is more chance of interaction, and we are going to test around 500 livestock for the ELISA test for the type O FMD infection. That is also the serological test we are going to run. And also I want to show about the, especially I want to thank Ginger to help me to help to create this data is from the source of veterinary section from Chittor National Park, and she helped me to prepare this graph, and recently there is a little bit increase in the quality of the wild rhinoceros population in our park. This could be a bit challenges with us. It goes like this for a little bit longer, and it could be an important thing we should consider. This is the data about this 2017. So what future investigation we need to focus on the rhino? Like we are trying to identify from different literature review and different work done in other part of the world, and to identify the important diseases of concern for the rhinoceros, and develop a case definition investigation protocol for if we rhino dead, or if we get we are going to capture the rhino, what is our SOP going to be? We are planning to clear that, and we are planning to just identify the important diseases. It is not a complete list, but we are just working on that, which diseases we should be more focused on the rhino population. And future is, this is the up to present, we have big conflict going on in our park and in all over our places. This could be the opportunity to look after the disease as well. If there is any disease, this could be our future objective, and also we want to link the disease and spatiotemporal techniques with the modeling exercise. We haven't done on the ecological aspect and study as well, and also we want to involve lots of local communities like citizen scientists for the disease. I want to acknowledge all of these for healthy surveillance. Thank you.
Please give me a big clap. A little bit late, so I would like to call Dr. Zulfi from Indonesia to present his paper, Indonesia Rhino Health. Finish your presentation within 15 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Zulfi. I work for Sumatra Rhino Sanctuary in Indonesia, in the southern part of Sumatra. Presentation of rhinoceros in Indonesia. This is the picture of Sumatran rhinoceros, the smallest rhinoceros species in. Indonesia was blessed with two species which become the last stronghold of the survival of the two rhino species in the world, Javan rhinos, and then Rhinoceros sundicus, and then Sumatran rhinoceros, the Dicerorhinus sumatrensis. This is sister species of the greater one-horn, which is it's also called the lesser one-horn rhinoceros. Historically, it's spread throughout Asia and then sympatric with the Sumatran rhinoceros in Sumatra and also peninsular Malaysia, and also I think in the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, also sympatric with the greater one-horn. But now the population, current population is restricted in the Ujung Kulon National Park, which is in the western tip of Java, and also the habitat in Ujung Kulon National Park is not good. It's only inhabit about 40,000 hectares of the forest there, and then this forest in Ujung Kulon National Park, also 60% of the forest is occupied by the Arenga invasive palm, which is also is a threat for Javan rhinos. So since 1960, the survey to monitor the population is in Ujung Kulon National Park is relatively stable, and then the current population now is about 67. That's the number in 2016, sorry. And then this data is not good here because we changed the method from the transect into the CameraFi. By individual determination. The challenge is the population of the 67. The number of the male is relatively high compared to the number of the female. And also, space is needed to grow of the population, because as you may see in the graph, the graphic is stable for over 20 years. And also, it's also in some pictures we also could see some inbreeding depression. This is the malformation of the ears, and then also the tail, and then things like that. And then also in there we not only in Ujung Kulon National Park, but in other national park in Indonesia, that we face the livestock versus wildlife interface. So the barrier between these two groups of animals is breaks, and then they could exchange diseases. And also, poaching is still a latent threat for all wildlife. And then what we are doing now is we doing a fecal survey to see the genetic diversity of the Javan rhino, and also we are looking to see other area for the second population growth. And also in Ujung Kulon National Park, try to increase that by reducing the Arenga palm to come inside the park. And also there's also some disease surveillance conducted for the pasture line and songs. This one also old male, and this is a young male that is already decomposed, and then there is no further investigation that could be conducted. This is how the arenga palm. You see, there is in the soil under the arenga there is nothing could live, and there is no shrub, no small plants. And then when we cut the arenga, cutting trees in the national park, sometimes it's become controversial. But after 1 year, this is what grow, and this is a source of food of the rhinoceros. Both Javan and Sumatran rhinoceros are fully browsers animals, so they need small shrubs like this for the source of the food. That's the challenge of our Sumatran rhinoceros. This one is a Sumatran rhinoceros, the other species that also facing the threat. And Sumatran rhinoceros is, I think, is facing. If we lose Sumatran rhinoceros, we are not just losing a species, but also a genus. It will be kind of like similar like 200 years ago, Thylacine, and then also dodo extinction. So this is should not be happening when we are alive, right? And this is the current the historical distribution of the Sumatran rhinoceros is also quite similar like Javan, and now they just only live in small protected areas in Sumatra and in Borneo, and only 9 Sumatran rhinoceros live in captivity now. 7 in Sumatran rhinoceros sanctuaries, and 2 in Malaysia, which is a pair, male and female, which has some pathology on the reproduction system. So in Malaysia, and in Sumatran rhinoceros is also if you compare with the Javan rhinoceros, the graph is worse than the Javan rhino because it's declined, and then over 2 decades, 8 population of Sumatran rhinoceros gone extinct in the wild in Sumatra only. And current population of the Sumatran rhinoceros is only about 70 animals. That's the smallest number estimated. And then it's around the Gunung Glacier National Park, about roughly 20 animals, and then in the Bukit Barisan Selatan National Park is about 15, and then in White Cambas, it's exclude in our place, it's about 30, and then plus 9 in captivity. So it's the population here also like separated. So, and for example, in Waikambas, the population is growth from about 15 animals about 20 years ago or 40 years ago. So I think the genetic diversity also is not good. This is is also become a latent threat. The last Sumatran rhino poach in Sumatra is in 2006. It is in Bukit Barisan, in Waikambas National Park, and then after that we have zero poaching.
Clearly, what was it? A new disease or something that they think is new? Properly, and to describe the project is very important very well. Also, Dr. Martin from so much movements, but south is movements in domestic is very for tourism, and people from settlements, big settlements, go to the seaside summer or go to some or take the animals with them in the spring, and you see that it's about 33% of the Pretoria and 7. So, of wild animal ecology. We should remember that tigers, leopards, or another tiger, they live in an environment and among another species that may be a source of disease, that may maintain the disease, and we always should them also. Veteran of tigers rehabilitation center. Center situations. The first of all, first animal teamwork is critical to have high snow, covered and exhausted, trying to touch high snow, lack of food or lost the mother or kittens. Like this leopard lost his fingers because of showed the very typical disease signs. Firstly, like rabies, he has salivary leaking down and aggressive to people. But then we understood that it was just trauma, making him so aggressive and strange. And the last problem is sickness. It's not very often, but it happens. And Western leopard. Here is this animal. He came to the rehabilitation center. Yeah, it started. It came to rehabilitation center and showed the neurological signs, loss of fear. She was very exhausted. And finally, we tried to drink, but finally we was captured. We found the canine virus in her brain samples, and during the histology we found the inflammations caused by virus disease. Okay, the rehabilitation center. We monitor main things like pulse, blood pressure, temperature, cardiac oxygen saturation. We engage in observation of tigers coming to the rehabilitation center and or monitor that also shows temperature and cardiogram of animals. We need the or MRI. We usually apply for city for animals here. This is equipment of rehabilitation center. Also, he's here the narcosis apparatus or portative ones that mix air with anesthesia drugs, and this we use also the oxygen. Before we use only this kind of transportation of animals, but in winter it's very stressful and very hard for animals. So yeah, now the rehabilitation center has a track where we also can do the surgery right in the field. These animals was rehabilitated by the center since 2013. There was 9 tigers, 8 of them still in the wild, and 2 females brought kittens, like Zolushka, the first case. And there was one forest leopard. Unfortunately, we could not release, and he goes to the zoo. There was also some 2 vultures, black vultures. Sample collection, Dr. Martin Gilbert and Dr. Scott told you about this already, and it's very important because I faced 2 problems already, not having a proper collection in the country. First, the retrospective study of pathogens. When you start to investigate a new pathogen, of course you need the collection here. And if you have no good collection, you have no a good study of diagnostics. You also need to have a good ground. Laboratory diagnostic is still developing in Russia. Involved commercial and scientific laboratories for now. We have special laboratories for wildlife and laboratories for animals. Diseases that we detected in Amur tiger, this is a short list because the proper investigation was only on canidis tempovirus that Dr. Martin Gilger presented you already, and we also found antibodies to this range of diseases. Okay, and disease management may include vaccination, hereditary fermentation, and so on. Anyway, this is first we should understand the situation. Probably we will find some other decisions for each situation. Collaboration organizations.
Thank you, Dr. Nadia.
Here is a video.
Any questions for Nadia? No questions.
Yeah, Martin, wishing you a good day and good lunch, everybody.
Thank you. We finished. We are out of time, and we'll have